Yes, I think it's working. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? And we have the sparkly lights again. I have no idea what's causing that. It keeps doing this, and I don't know. Oh, technology, and Mercury's not retrograde till November. But anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to my lovely soul fam. I am so thrilled to be here and to see so many of you here already. So we are going to have me, hi Russian Dye Earthling, fantastic, Poonam, Annabelle, I saw Patrick, you're here and you're very welcome. And Jim is here and Christine, yeah, I don't know Christine, what keeps going on? It just keeps going wrong. And it's just doing funny things. See me, Andy, but I think I've had to do a little bit of twiddling. But as you can see, we've still got kind of sparkly lights. I don't know what all that's about, but it looked very pretty on the one I did. When was it? Yesterday or the day? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to have pretty lights. So, hello, Anne. Hello. Yes, I'm here. So, how was last week? How is this week going to be? Because let's just have a think about what happened last week. Because, of course, I think we do actually, camouflage lights, yes. I think we do actually have to just tip our hats to the carrot, because he did get the hostages out. The ceasefire, I believe, has been broken tonight. We knew that was going to happen. But I do think that, one has to sort of, whatever his motives, credit is, has to go where it's due. And if he can do the same in Ukraine, fantastic. Otherwise, we'll chop him into small little bits and make even more soup. So there we go. Yes, it didn't last long, did it, Poonam? Absolutely. Yeah, there was a lot of a feeling of everyone being on edge last week, Annabelle. Absolutely. Hello, Sue NB. And Tiffany, hi, you're here, my love. And Janice, hello. And who else have we got here? I think we've got a full house. I think we're almost all here. So who else is stepping? Well, yes, absolutely, Annabelle. Annabelle's saying, who else is stepping up for peace? And whatever the ulterior motives, being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize next year, whatever it may be, the families have been reunited with the remaining hostages. So, that has to be good. But I do know in America, and I don't know if it's been going on anywhere else, but there's been this No King parades, or is going on today or yesterday. So just interesting that all of this is going on. Poonam, you're finding it was an anxiety-driven week. Margaret, Louise, I don't know what you're danging about, but hello. Anne, you offered on a house back home and it was accepted. Fantastic. Oh, well, I suppose I should tell you my news. I was offered the asking price. I accepted. So, subject to contract, I've sold. Isn't that exciting? And I really had a feeling last week was going to be the week. And do you remember when we did the tarot? I said something about, oh, there's good news coming at the end of the week. And I thought, that'll be interesting. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yes, I know. Woohoo! I shall be off. So it probably isn't going to happen. The move won't happen probably till the middle of next year. Astrologically, I'm picking up on that. And also because the buyers have got to sell their property. So, but it's interesting here, you get tied into a contract straight away. So it's not in their interest if they can't finalize, because they lose the deposit to me. So, but anyway, all being well, they will find a buyer pretty quickly and we will be on our way. So let's see what you're all talking about. Prayers up for those subjects to come off. Andy, subjects. I think you're probably talking about the wars and the things and the hostages and all of that. But yeah, we have to continue sending. Yes, I'm on my way to Blighty. Oh, Blighty, Christine. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Annabelle. Well, this is the ring I'm mentioning to you. This ring has got an amethyst in, where is it? An amethyst and a citrine. And so it's all happened since I started wearing it again, which was only, 10 days ago or something? 2 weeks ago, I think. 2 weeks ago. So fascinating. It's just fascinating. Russian dye, Earthling. Love that idea. UK-based subscribers could do a meetup at the airport and whoever else could make it. Oh my God, wouldn't that be awesome? Except it might have to be Dover. I'm considering driving myself home. I wouldn't drive all the way. I would get someone to come with me and help me. But I'm thinking I might bring my car back. And I'm thinking there's a ferry from Valletta to Genoa in northern Italy. And then you've only got to really drive up through Switzerland and France and you're home. So I might do that. Thank you, Sue NB. Exclamation mark, Laurie. Hello. Oh, let me see what you're all saying. You're all writing away. UK, Janice, a weird week with very good friend in ICU. Oh, sending her healing and prayers, or him. His partner, your best friend, upset, of course. Of course. He is now stable, trying to be there for them. Thank you. Congratulations on my move. I'm on my way. And it's interesting with health because I've heard of 3 incidents in the last week of contemporaries, friends of mine, one has broken her foot, another has got to have surgery, and another one also had to spend some time in CCU or in the coronary care unit. So last week was a little bit dodgy. But I think what's interesting is that we've got Mercury conjunct Mars in Scorpio. And if you're in the UK, or even if you're in the US or Canada, you may have seen that over the weekend, basically starting Friday. And if you think about Mercury, communication, Mars, action, assertion, anger, frustration, Scorpio, secrets. Well, handy Andy, Prince Andrew, maybe not even a prince for much longer, had all his titles stripped away. Isn't that classic Mercury Mars conjunct in Scorpio? The chickens are coming home to roost, I would say. And it will be very interesting to see what continues to unfold within this area of, it really brings in the Epstein files and all of that. And I just wonder, because of course, this book, the book, is coming out on, I believe, Tuesday. I wonder how many vegetables are mentioned in it that might be in the soup, and soon going through the what do they call it, the liquidizer. Just saying. Let me see what you're saying. Yes, it is a nice drive, Russian dye Earthling. I have done it before. It's lovely. Yes, Sarah Marginson, I have sold my house and I'll be coming home, but it won't be till the middle of next year, I don't think. Yes, prayers for friends' recovery. Yours, friends, Janice, mine, everybody. Healing vibes, yes. Thank you, Rita. Why were his titles stripped away? Well, because he is being seen. You see, the royal family in the United Kingdom is basically a business nowadays. It's a business and a brand. And Handy Andy's or Randy Andy's antics are basically a terrible embarrassment to the royal family and to the brand. And so I think pressure has been put upon his brother, King Charles III, to do something. So he's had the Duke of York title taken. He's had, I think it has to all go through Parliament, but it'll all be taken away. Knight of the Order of the Garter, that will be taken away. Anything, basically, he will only be left with the title Prince, formerly Prince, and he can't really have that taken away because he's born a prince. The other titles were bestowed upon him. So, you know, and I mean, I think we have to remember his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. I mean, she would be, well, she probably was terribly upset about everything that was going on with Randy Andy. And Sarah Marginson is a brat. I love it, but you're right. You're right. The creep formerly, now I saw that Russian die earthling before you deleted it. I saw it. Yes, things are falling into place, Poonam, very, very nicely. Let's see, what book? Well, this is the book that's going to come out, written by one of the girls who was sex trafficked, called Virginia Giuffre. And she has written a tell-all sort of novel or book, and that's released this week. She actually committed suicide, apparently, earlier this year. So clearly she has been or had been very traumatized by her experiences with the Epstein business, let's put it that way. But just bringing back the astrology, it's interesting. And yes, and Sarah Ferguson too. She will no longer be Duchess of York. But you know, the astrology is interesting because we've got this Mars-Mercury conjunction. It's actually conjunct tomorrow. So it might be interesting when the papers come out on Monday morning. There may be even more revelations that come out, especially because this book about what she went through, this Virginia Giuffre, is going to come out on Tuesday. And who knows who she names. You know, it may be we don't need the Epstein files or the list or whatever it is, because maybe it's all in the book. So we will see. Yes, Poonam, I think Prince William did nudge his dad and say, come on, we can't. Hello, Lenny. Good to see you. It was already coming out. I think the book will do very well. Yeah, and it's interesting. Yes, you're right, Poonam, because, of course, the book is actually being published on the day of the new moon in Libra, which, of course, is interesting because it's about relationships. But what is also super interesting, and if you've seen my new moon video, you'll see I talk about it quite a lot there, is the fact that the space object, or the interstellar space object 3i Atlas, will be in alignment with the sun, the moon, and the earth for that new moon. So 3i Atlas will be in Libra. And although if you're actually looking on like one of these star, you know, the stars at night or the sky at night, it would actually be different. It would actually appear as if it's in Virgo. Either way, the symbolism is very interesting, because in Libra, and I do go through in that new moon video, which Jerry humbly apologizes for, because he realized he'd uploaded it and it had quite a few views before he just forgot to do what he was supposed to do, like put the chart up. So I look a right twat. I'm going, and there's no chart. And then I go, and now we'll take the chart down. And there's no chart. And then he forgot to put the end thumbnail on. And it could all be done now, but you have to take it down because, oh, it's a bit complicated. That there is a way to do it, but it doesn't matter. It's out there. But then, so at the end, you've got me going, because what I do is I go like this and I go, thank you very much and bye for now. And normally I give him enough time to then cut that so that then he puts on the thumbnail. So you've now got about 20 seconds of me just sitting there going, it's just hysterical. It's worth watching just for that. So let me have a look. What are you saying? You watched Russian Earthling. You watched a documentary about King Juan Carlos of Spain. Oh, they're all at it, are they? Yes, Amanda Roberts, we have this new moon on Tuesday. Things coming to light, absolutely. Hi, Lenny. Too many variables coming together. Hope other things come to light too. Or I think it's quite possible. Let's see. The astrological signs don't line up exactly with physical constellations. No, that's right. Because with traditional Western astrology, we work on what is called geocentered, which means we're looking at the sky as if we're on planet Earth. So the new moon from planet Earth is in Libra. Whereas if you were on the sun, which clearly we can't be, and you were looking at all the planets orbiting the sun, you would see that the new moon and Earth are actually in Virgo. So it's now I'm not sure about this, but I know Vedic astrology uses that way of looking at it. So they use, the sort of sun-centered way of looking. There's all. I'm not really up to speed with sidereal, and all of that stuff. I really must get better at understanding it because I work with traditional Western astrology and always have done. I'm just used to doing it this way. But so basically, for all intents and purposes, and because we're used to working with traditional Western astrology, we have to say that 3i Atlas for now is in Libra. Now, what's super interesting in my own chart, right? Libra is part of my 4th house of home and family. And then I've got a bit of Scorpio in there as well. So what I have for that new moon is 3i Atlas, the new moon, in Libra in the 4th house, and I've sold the house. So it's a wonderful example of how, when the astrology works, it really does kind of fall into place, because the people came to view the house on the full moon in Aries, which meant the moon was on my midheaven, MC, the sun was on my IC, so that's the cusp of the 4th house. And I thought, this is interesting. I bet by the new moon I've sold it. And I did. So it's just fascinating how, you see, this is where, hang on a minute, boys, stop it. It's the boys, the cats, stop it. Astrology is wonderful with hindsight. And sometimes you can get it right in the present moment, where you just kind of think, this is going to happen or go this way. For instance, I've got, and hopefully by telling you my own stories, it will help you understand a little bit more about how to understand your own transits and chart. But at the moment, transiting Mars in Scorpio and Mercury are conjunct my Saturn, natal Saturn in Scorpio in the 4th house. Now, what that can indicate, forget about the Mercury bit for a moment, but Mars conjunct Saturn at home could mean, like, don't go up any ladders, Penny. You're going to fall. You're going to break your ankle. You're going to break a bone. And so I've really, really been super mindful since all of last week, and will be all of next week, to be really mindful around the home, because, you can fall in a nanosecond, because it has happened to me in the past. So Mars conjunct Saturn in the fourth can mean an accident at home. And the funny thing is, this friend who is the same age as me, now I don't know what her rising sign is, but how interesting that she's broken her foot on Friday when it was exact. And I just thought that's fascinating, because you see, because she's the same generation as me, then Saturn is probably more or less at the same degree. So it's just wonderful when you can see how the astrology works and how you can work with it. Because remember, with the outer planets, they are, everybody who is my age, who was born in 1955 and around April, May, June, July, will have Saturn in Scorpio at various degrees. And so we're all going to have been affected at some point by Mars transiting our natal Saturn. So it's just, it's great to be able to sort of look forward and think, because it's like, for instance, the next thing or the next time I will start to be more, or I'll continue to be mindful, but super mindful, will be later in the year or beginning of next year when Mars moves into Capricorn, because that'll be my 6th house of health. So then I also need to pay attention to it. So I hope that kind of explains a bit how you can, if you understand your natal chart, how you can really work with the energy. Let's see what we're all saying. Yes, I've sold. Russian di-earthing, you've got North Node and Pluto in Libra and Moon in Virgo. Okay, so the North Node and Pluto, well, at some point, Mars went over that. And I don't know what your degree is for Pluto, because that will, whether the new moon is, the new moon is actually, let me tell you what it is at. It's at 28 degrees and 21 minutes. So let me see, Katie, you're saying Pam Gregory mentioned something about the moon and the constellation of the Seven Sisters, something about the moon heading towards the star Atlas, the father of the sisters. Yes, I did hear her talking about that, because this is the Pleiades, I think, isn't it? They're known as the Seven Sisters. And I mean, all this symbolism is just awesome, really. Russian dialing, your Pluto's at 15. So this new moon doesn't really have any effect on you. But, it depends what else is going on in your chart and what other planets might be making aspects to it. But the Pluto thing in Libra, not worth thinking about. Not worth thinking about. Jim, what are you saying? Christine, you're enjoying watching you become the tree you are, a mirror in your emerging power. That's beautiful. And Christine had said, water and earth energy incorporates a strong sense of family and home. Hello from Eastbourne, Kate Oscar. Hello, Oscar and Kate. I might be moving near you, because I'm going to look for somewhere in East Sussex. So we might meet. How cool is that? Christine, always leave yourself many escape routes. This practice is a lesson to all of us not to paint ourselves into corners. Absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely. No way. Kate Oscar, I'm going to look for somewhere in East Sussex. And Katie Haynes, you're saying Uranus has been sliding back to your natal Saturn. Don't worry about that too much, because there'll be many, hundreds of thousands of millions of people who have Saturn at the same degree as you. It's really looking at them when they are affecting the personal planets, the inner planets. Then we get more stuff going on. But, Uranus being conjunct Saturn, I think it would just mean you might get some amazing ideas and sparks of, excitement about things. And Saturn could be putting a bit of a damper on things, or trying to get you to put more structure into your sort of out of the box ideas. That could be an interpretation of it. So let's just stick with this new moon for a minute, because there is quite a lot going on in the new moon, because you've still got the Mercury Mars in Scorpio, and they're part of a grand water trine. That is quite important. So, we have to be careful we don't get carried away, washed away, caught up in an overwhelm of emotion with this. There could be, and you've got to remember that this Mercury Mars conjunction, we have to also think about how it's going to affect us personally. What might we find out within our circle? What news might come which is a secret revealed, or something, because also remember, Mercury and Mars could mean that the mercurial part has a very short temper. So I think it's wise this week not to get cornered into discussions where you might, react, because it's an energy which is going to push you to react rather than respond. Thank you, Miss Awesomeness. I welcome the congratulations. Lenny Cunningham, you slept for 10 hours twice last week. That's never happened. Seemed like it happened when Pluto went direct. It was both weird and wonderful. How lovely. Actually, that's really interesting. My sleeping's been better the last few nights. Hadn't thought about that, but it could be. It could be. How many stelliums can a person have? Patrick, you just found out you have also a stellium in Libra. Well, it depends. It sounds like you're popping in all the asteroids and every single point and thing that, is in the cosmos. I mean, there's only so many cosmic objects or bodies, so you can't have that many stelliums. Christine, if we eliminate our alternatives, we dam the flow of experiences in our lives. Yes, you're very profound today again, Christine. I'm liking this. Ness Poetry, hello. Definitely an overwhelm of emotion this week. A big reveal for you was blindsided and totally reacted. You see, that's the problem. We just get into this, reactionary behavior. And so forewarned is forearmed, because, also, although it's not exact yet, both of them, both Mars and Mercury, are conjunct Lilith. I think we're going to hear some more about a sex scandal, and whether that's to do with the Epstein debacle, or whether this is something new that comes out. But, Lilith, Scorpio, Mercury, Mars, Scorpio, it's got to be a sex scandal coming out, hasn't it? Something perhaps we have yet to find out. And I think that comes out tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday. But I think it's very possible that it could just be more of, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, because no mainstream media has ever talked about this, but let's just say, Prince H's wife, who they live down in, California, and she has a television program where she sprinkles flowers on food. Well, apparently, according to some social media outlets, she also knew Randy Andy before she got married on yachts. I'll say no more. Yes, absolutely, Christine Buckingham. Oh, Jim, I love that. A scandal smorgasbord awaits. Absolutely. Lenny, you also think the day Neptune slipped into Pisces, Alaska had a typhoon. Well, Neptune hasn't gone back into Pisces yet. It doesn't actually go into Pisces until October the 22nd, which is Wednesday. So on Wednesday, Neptune will leave Aries and go back to Pisces and stay there till the beginning of next year, around about middle of January. Then it will move back into Aries. But we have to also think about this grand water chime, because I think what comes out this week, this is quite a beefy week astrologically. Oh, what's this, see me? That's wild. You've been dreaming about Lilith all week. How strange. Stranger things. Oh, wonder where you're invited where you've invited that idea, Lenny Cunningham. How funny. If Janice, you've got Ceres and Lilith conjunct in Libra in your 6th house. Okay, well, I would say, Janice, that you have to be mindful of I would the first thing that came to my mind was one's women's bits, and just being mindful of one's women's bits and keeping an eye on them health-wise. You know, whatever age we are, we can always get little difficulties. So that's what I would say that could be about. Invented that idea. Okay, Lenny. Let's see what else. Lenny wants to have creative anger. Okay. I think we have to look at what happens round about the middle of the week with water, flooding, because with Neptune moving back into Pisces with this grand water trine as well, I think we may see typhoons or flooding or something of that nature this week in general. The other thing that I think it's important to say, and I think I talked about this in the new moon video, is that because 3i Atlas, which they do think now is quite a large object, whatever it is, if you haven't seen the video I put up on Channeling and Stranger Things yesterday, watch it. It's really interesting. I've called it, I do a discussion with a lovely Maltese friend who is called Keith Ilul, and he runs the Maltese UFO club. And anyway, we had a very interesting discussion about 3i Atlas. And I had done this remote viewing on Friday night, just kind of thought, I'll just have a go. I'll just think myself round the energy of 3i Atlas. And I actually saw it, experienced it as a massive creator seed pod. So an organic, but I go into it in more depth. I'm not gonna tell you. Watch the video because it is really interesting. Because what I want to do is come back to the new moon, because 3i Atlas will be exerting its own energies on the sun because it's going behind the sun. So it's not till the 29th where it's what's called completely perihelion, which will be like conjunct the sun, but it will be behind it. But it's out of our sight now. So there is something about this new moon which is out of our sight. So we have to think about that like an unexpected visitor, which is what 3i Atlas is. And then we have to think also about the energy that 3i Atlas has on the sun, solar weather, plasma storms and plasma ejections, and in turn the solar energy that in turn affects the new moon and the tectonic plates on planet Earth. Because what we might see this week is even something like a very deep earthquake under one of the oceans or a sea that brings a tsunami of some description. It may not be I'm not talking about something devastating. Well, let's hope it's not. But that's the kind of thing that could be triggered. And especially as we've got this grand water trine, I think it's just, we could get washed away, flooded. Let me see what you're saying. Do you see me? Do you think our shadow sides will be more prevalent this week? Or could the world be exposing it? No, I think the world's going to be exposing its shadow side. I think the shadow side is coming out of everything. Christine said, we have to look at the power of working and attaining a sense of achievement in, in building a dream. Teamwork is necessary to accomplish a goal with others involved working with the group mind. Absolutely. You don't want to have it, you were referring to Mars and Mercury conjunction. I don't know, I've lost your thread, Lenny. So, you don't want anger even a little bit. No, none of us want anger. And I think the thing is, you just take a step back and you just think, I'm not reacting to that. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to react. I'm not going to do anything. Yay, I'm coming home. Oh, Patrick, interesting. Well, I mean, that's been discussed and talked about for a long time, hasn't it? Earthquake in Yellowstone. And of course, there's the volcano, the super volcano there, which might, yes, West Sussex is lovely, but it's more expensive. It depends what I can get and where I can afford. So, the sort of certain things that have to be taken into consideration. So, Jim, I'm just seeing, is that Christine, 7 million souls affirmed that teamwork intent yesterday? Was that the No King marches that you're referring to? Katie Haynes, what do you think happens once we've learned astrological lessons? Once we've learned astrological lessons, we move on to the next one. They don't just come and then they finish, because there's always going to be a new lesson. There's never a point that we get to sort of thinking, there we go, sorted it all. Sadly, it doesn't work that way. And you know what? Life would be incredibly boring if it works that way. So, Lenny Cunningham, you were watching a documentary on the Pacific Northwest and was thinking how much damage a tsunami could do. There is a lot of activity off the coast of Oregon. Yes, that's true. That's very true. Yes, Jim, you were referring to that. Okay. 7 million people is a lot of people. It's a lot of people. And I see he's put out some silly videos, making fun of it. I mean, I wish he'd grow up. Oh, God. Anyway, so we've also got to look at, because there's a lot going on this week and it's already nearly 20 to 7, but Jupiter squares Chiron on the 23rd. And at the same time as squaring Chiron, we've got, let me have a look. Jupiter squares Chiron, and there was something else happens. The sun will go into Scorpio. This is on the 23rd, and that's on Thursday. And Mercury is conjunct Lilith on the 23rd. And then Mercury is trine Jupiter and Saturn on the 24th of October, because that will come, that's on Friday. But I'm going to talk about them in the midweek Astro Witter. So I think for now, let me just see what you're saying. Diddly-dee, diddly-dee, diddly-dee. And, just to go back to just looking at this Neptune leaving Aries and going back into Pisces, you see Saturn will be wanting to put structure into our dreams. It's almost as if Neptune is moving back and saying, here I am, here are my dreams, here are my ideas. And Saturn goes, right, now you're back, let's get some structure into this. So it's fascinating symbolism that we have. Christine, group mind constitutes harmony of the highest order without individual egos getting in the way. Absolutely. We have to honor the talents and abilities of others. We have to know how to complete the puzzle. Absolutely. See me jumped ahead and you pulled the 2 of Pentacles, Strength, and 7 of Cups. Fantastic. We'll come to that in a minute. I've got them all here ready and waiting. And it may be time to put ideas into action. Hi, Bobby in NC. Is that North Carolina? Glad you caught the live. I'm glad you caught the live. We're all glad you caught the live. We're all glad you're here. So before I do the quotes of the week, and followed by our 3 tarot cards of the week and any other cards anybody wants to do this. What's this? A big step for so many to literally see each other. I think, Jim, you're still referring to the 7 million. And I think that it must be very heartening for the collective of the No King movement to realize how many people are actually on the same page. And they're only the people that showed up, because there will be another probably 40 million almost who didn't show up because whatever, they didn't feel they could. So it's interesting. Oh, Annabelle, you watched me and Keith yesterday. And you've got a Virgo sun and moon. You sure that there's something to learn? There's always something to learn, Annabelle. Always something to learn. We never stop learning. And that's what's so super exciting about life. There's always a new challenge. And it's just great. Let me see what's going on here. So Neptune goes back into Pisces on the 22nd. So we have got quite a big week of shifting of energies. And we will have this Mercury-Mars energy around for most of the week, because even by the 22nd, Mercury will only have moved to 21 degrees. And by the 23rd, Mercury will be at 23 degrees conjunct Lilith. So you've still got that Mars-Mercury conjunction. This could be an extraordinary week, is what I'm saying, what I'm thinking. I wonder what's going to come out. And then on the 24th, when Mercury trines Jupiter and Saturn, and you've got, wow, Jupiter is enlarging all the, if you like, the juicy gossip that has come out, and it's hitting the papers. And I think Saturn is the arm of the law. I think that's the law stepping in and saying, we've actually got to do something about this, or this cannot go on. So I'm seeing Saturn round about the end of the week representing legal and law enforcement. So that could be interesting. Now, the word or the words that I thought about to talk about for this week, for the our quotes, is about revealed secrets and truth, because we haven't had this one yet. So I've got just a few here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6. So the 6 just one-liners. So this is on the power and consequences of truth. So Flannery O'Connor said, the truth does not change according to our ability to stomach it. It's true. Stephanie Klein said, tell the truth, or someone will tell it for you. Oh, I think that's going to happen this week, don't you? It may even happen in our own personal lives, but if we haven't got anything we're worried about in terms of secrets or lies we may have spoken, then we don't have anything to worry about. So I mean, I can't lie. I've never been someone who could lie at school, all of that. I'll tell the truth. I'm the one that always stands up and tells the truth. Yeah, I'll read it again, Poonam. It's tell the truth or someone will tell it for you. And then we've got one by Gloria Steinem, which is the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. Love it. And then there's an unknown one here, which is lies are just truths waiting for courage. And then another unknown, which is revelation is a mirror. It doesn't create truth. It reflects it. I like that. And let me see what you're saying. LV Speedwell. The truth is like a lion. Let it out and it will defend itself. Can't remember who said that. That's beautiful, that one. That's beautiful. And then there's one here, which is an unknown, which I really love this, which is sometimes truth whispers until the world is quiet enough to hear it. Well, that is food for thought, I think, and very profound. Oh, yeah, thanks, Simi. She's saying, hey, everyone, hit the thumbs up for Penny. Yeah, press the like button, hype it. If you're given the opportunity to hype the video. It gets the message out to those who may need it, absolutely. And subscribe. If you're new here and you're watching, welcome. We're a great bunch. We're a bit crazy, a bit bonkers, but that's what makes it so awesome. And I'd love it if you'd subscribe. So please, if you're new here, I would love it if you'd subscribe. Remember, before I do the tarot, remember to check out the new moon video. All your zodiac signs are time-stamped. Jerry did manage to do that. And I do talk about 3-eye atlas in every single zodiac sign, which part of the chart it's in and which part of your life it may be affecting. Like I said, for me, it's in the 4th house in Libra. And I thought, how interesting, I'm making this decision, or the door is opening for me to actually leave, to go from Gozo to England. Incredible, incredible symbolism. Now, let's move on to the tarot. And I'll come back to Simi's, which I've lost now, or somebody's, Annabelle. Oh dear, I can't find the cards you did. And also check out the video I did with Keith Ilul on channeling and stranger things. And that went up yesterday. And it's a lovely discussion about 3-eye atlas. And it was just really interesting. And we were looking at, we were trying to be as, what's the word? We were trying to find the truth with all the evidence, just teasing out what truth we could find, and also using a bit of imagination, but trying not to get too caught into clickbait. Although I realized when I looked at the title, I'd done it just that. I'd actually made it a clickbait title, because it says, what does it say? Is 3-eye atlas a creator seed pod? So that blew that. Anyway, so let me see what you're all saying. Truth is a silent light that remains when all illusions fade. That's lovely. Oh, Russian Di-Earthling, family at the door. Catch you all next week. Bye. Thanks for joining. These live stream always go, I know, it's already 10 to. I know, but I am going to try and do one a month on channeling and stranger things, because I think that's quite fun. And then we can just look at much more the sort of strange things and esoteric things and law of attraction and frequency and all of that stuff, and answer your questions. And also we can use on channeling and stranger things. I can get this out. I'll keep it hidden for now. This is my scrying mirror, and we're going to use that one day. Let's see. Christine, the beaver asks you to settle differences and to look for alternative solutions to life's challenges, and to protect the creations which you've put your love and energy into. Okay, fantastic. Simi, 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so that's got to keep the balance this week. It sounds like it's going to be a busy week. Strength, we will have the inner strength and the physical strength to cope with everything that comes along. And the 7 of Cups, which seems to show that there will be some things coming to light, which could be quite surprising. So that actually links in very nicely with the astrology. Actually, that's really interesting. Jim, enjoy watching Penny. Trust the timing of a grand sequence. Yay. And I was going to say something. Oh, I have to tell you my dream. I had this awesome dream last night. I dreamt about, I could see a thunderstorm approaching, and as it got closer and closer, there was a building in front of me that was like a block of apartments, and lightning struck the top apartment and set it on fire. And I just thought, oh dear, okay, well, I hope nobody's home, but I'll ring the fire brigade. And then a few seconds later, I saw lightning strike another building near me, and the same thing, it went on fire. And so I make all these efforts to call the fire brigade, who didn't seem particularly interested, and I presume they did come at some time, but I didn't seem particularly bothered. But I think what's interesting as a dream is that if you think about the enormous changes that I'm in the process of making, then it actually is quite symbolic, because it's like flashes of awareness, awakening. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because there's often that saying, isn't there? Lightning never strikes twice. And I think it's about inner awareness, and anyone else who's got any ideas about what that might be about. But and what's this, Christine? Sometimes the beaver brings you a warning to watch your back. Well, I think with that Mercury conjunct Mars, conjunct Lilith, yeah, we have got to watch our backs. We've got to keep keep everybody else's back. We've got to know that everybody has our back, but make sure we don't get attacked. Watch your back, trust your power. Actually, Amanda, Penny, do you see more stuff coming at Andrew? Surely his karma is coming, as he is Pisces too. Well, I should think this is the swan song, isn't it, Amanda? Because with Neptune and Saturn back in Pisces this week, and then I wonder whether when Neptune and Pisces move into Aries in February, or when they have their conjunction, what's just come to me is I wonder whether he decides he has to leave the country, actually go into exile, go and live somewhere else, even somewhere else in England outside London, maybe go up to Scotland or just somewhere away. I wonder. But I think the chickens are coming home to roost. Let me see. The fire starts within before the storm comes. That's interesting. Thank you, Patrick. Absolutely. And watch your back. Trust your power. Yes, absolutely, Jim. Cosmic 3IA, you pulled the luminous root card. Divine signs passing through our greatest realizations. Stay enthusiastic, preserve your self-esteem and pride as feelings surge from your soul. That's lovely. I like that. So let's see what I get. So I'm going to do 3 because I like, there's 1. One's come. Now we're going to get another one. 2. All right, 2 and 3. They're all jumping all over the place. Right, the first one. This is the gossip and the scandal coming out. Page of Swords. This is really going to be, this could be a sit back and buy some popcorn week, couldn't it? Have the news on, buy the popcorn, get it on speed dial, and then we've got, that's interesting. So we've got 2 4s here, actually. We've got the 4 of Cups, and then we've got we've got the Page of Swords, that's the first one, and then we've got the 4 of Cups. And of course, the 4 of Cups is about looking at what is lost and not seeing what you gain from it or what you can have in the future. So I think if we take it on a personal level, let's say, whatever goes on this week, don't look at what is gone. Know that it had to go for a reason, and that actually what's coming can be much better. Buffet of 4s is served. And, the Fool. So we have the Fool. I'll get there in a minute. Where's it going? Because I'm looking at this backwards. So that one. I don't know. That way. That's it. So we've got the Fool. Well, I like the Fool because the Fool is about new beginnings. The beginnings, it's like the beginnings we can have with the new moon, but we don't always know what is going to unfold. For any of us starting out a new journey, and obviously I'm going to be starting out on a new journey, it's about embracing it and taking the risks and thinking, okay, I'm going to learn. I'm going to get out of my comfy chair, out of my comfy zone, and go and explore the world. And, so I think actually that is quite a nice selection. I think that there is a sense that the week ends, a buffet will unfold, Christine's saying, the fool's choice. See me, Four of Cups could also be refusing to see the help that is in front of you. Absolutely. We're often offered help and we don't see it or choose it. And, the Fool is that part of us that takes risks. And if we don't take risks, we don't grow. If we stay stuck, we don't grow. If we stay sitting in our comfy chair for too long, we don't grow. So there's very much a feeling of things coming out, I think, in the collective, in the news this week, which is going to be quite surprising, potentially shocking. And I think that what this will evoke is a sense of, okay, so this is what's coming to me now. I suddenly had this image of, when you lift up a stone and suddenly all the vermin and the insects all run away. It's like you lift up this stone. So this is it, isn't it? The lid's being taken off the truth. And they're all going to go scurrying around and head for the hills and try and hide. So something is being revealed. Jim, fearless discovery. Amanda, you're so welcome. Listen, you are all so welcome. Look at that. We've got it in an hour. This felt like it took about 10 minutes to me. It's gone ever so fast. Christine, nothing can surprise or shock. It's time for the truth to be released. I absolutely agree. I think it's very much time for the truth to be released. And I think it will be. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what unfolds this week. Sue, you're very welcome. And yeah, I think so, Poonam, a significant week ahead. And my cats are looking at me like, yeah, and feed me. They're a little bit discombobulated with me or something. And next weekend in Europe, the clocks go back. So that'll be fun. So anyway, so listen, on next Sunday, I'll be back. That's the 24th, 25th, 26th, isn't it? That's the 26th. So I'll be back on the 26th. And you're welcome, Jim. Much love to you. Beating hearts to all of you. And yes, Christine, getting ready for the show to begin. Yeah, everybody, have a wonderful week. Thank you for all your well wishes. Thank you for all your support for the channel. And thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribes. And just thank you. Thank you for being you, because you're awesome. You're absolutely awesome. Thank you, Sue. Yes, wishing everybody, and Lenny, absolutely. Oh, Tiffany, you've listened to this weekly chat at the park with your little one. Oh, how lovely. Oh, I think that's fabulous. Oh, give her a big cuddle from us, from me. Thank you, Christine. Thank you. And listen, guys, I'll see you soon. It's absolutely on the dot of 7 here. So I'm going to go, and I'll see you next week. And I'll do my midweek Astro Witter as usual. Okay, bye for now. Bye. Bye.